Welcome. Today we're going to be diving into something that has the power to break you free from the ordinary, ignite your passions, and open your mind to possibilities that you possibly have never considered. And that's the power of awe, and learning to harness the power of awe in a way to find inspiration throughout everyday experiences that you may be having. Now, let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever felt stuck in a routine, like you're just going through the motions day after day? Do you remember the last time that you felt truly amazed by something? A sense of wonder that just made you see the world differently? Like, what if you could experience that feeling even more often, using it to fuel your growth, to fuel transformation for yourself, and helping you to step into a totally different life? Have you ever had that moment where you just felt completely at awe? Maybe it was standing on the edge of the ocean, looking at the vastness of the sky, or, hearing a story that just moved you to your core. Like, these moments aren't just beautiful, like they actually begin to shift and change us. They shift our perspectives, they fuel our creativity and expand our sense of what's possible. But here's really the thing that you need to think about. Most people wait for awe to happen to them instead of learning how to go out and find it and harness it intentionally. Now, that's where today's conversation and what I want to dive into comes in. Because by the end of this video, I want you to walk away with 6 steps, strategies, tips, ideas that you could do that help you to create wonder in your daily life and shift you from maybe boredom into inspiration, and to use that awe and inspiration to fuel your personal growth and transformation. Now, these are the exact strategies I would coach you through if we were working together one-on-one, if you're here in my office with me, that are designed to help you to wake up from the ordinary and step into extraordinary possibilities that are all around you. Now, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and author of the book that's called The Giver Method. You should grab yourself a copy if you have not already. There'll be a link in the description where you can go get it, or I'll give you a free resource. It's called The Giver's Roadmap. That's kind of the initial steps into the Giver Method world, and so you can go get the free download or the book. I'll put both links in the description. That way you can learn to unlock generosity, your gifts, your superpowers, and create more impact in the world and live a more fulfilled life. Now, I'm going to show you how to harness this idea of this power of awe and inspiring, to break free from mundane and create that life that's filled with purpose and meaning. So today, I want you to imagine that we're working together one-on-one, okay? And I'm going to give you the exact framework that you need to do to find the inspiration in your everyday use, and use it to create real change. Now, before we do dive in, if you are new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. I don't want you to miss out on any of the content we provide around, unlocking your potential, igniting impact, or creating a real life that excites you. At the same time, along the way, if you have thoughts along the way, feel free to put them into the comments, share it. What you say could unlock or inspire other people who come back and watch this video later. So with that, let's just go ahead and dive in. We won't delay any more getting into these 6 different steps that we have. So the first one is that you need to reawaken your sense of wonder. That sense of wonder it's about breaking free from predictable and rediscovering the magic that exists in everyday life. It was, as children, we lived in this state of constant curiosity where everything was new and exciting. We questioned, we explored, we found joy in some of the smallest details that were out there. But as we start to grow older, routine takes over. Familiarity dulls our sense of discovery. The world doesn't become less extraordinary in any way. We just stop paying attention to it and stop playing in our world. When life feels repetitive and uninspiring, it's often because we've stopped allowing ourselves to be amazed by the things around us. Wonder and awe isn't something that disappears with age. It's something that we just have to choose to pay attention to be intentional about, to cultivate. Living with wonder means embracing curiosity, allowing yourself to be surprised, and seeing the world around you. It's about shifting from the mindset of knowing, from a knowing mindset to a mindset of discovery. And when you expect the unexpected, life just becomes more engaging. This isn't just about approaching things with, thinking of it like in beauty aspect. It's about keeping your mind open and your spirit open to the new experiences and ideas and perspectives that could be around you. A sense of wonder keeps you from getting stuck with any sort of a limiting belief, and creates, allows you to have more creativity and growth and a deeper connection to the world around you. And so if you want to bring wonder back into your life, start by just intentionally disrupting your routine. A lot of things we'll talk about are going to be about disrupting the things that you just do regularly. Do something different today than you did yesterday. Take a different route to work. Eat a type of food that you've never tried. Read a book from a genre that you wouldn't normally pick up. Just step outside of your comfort zone, whatever that may be, and engage with something unfamiliar. Another powerful way to kind of reawaken that wonder is to spend time with children or people that just naturally see the world through fresh eyes. Observe how they interact with their environment, how they ask questions, how they find joy in the simple things. I have a 3-year-old, and it's amazing to see how he interacts with the world and how his senses and how he takes things in. The sense of wonder, it reminds you of what it feels like to be fully engaged and present in the moment. Simple but powerful exercises to ask yourself, each morning, just think to yourself, like, what could surprise me today? It just shifts a perspective that trains your brain to look for the moments of wonder instead of expecting life to be predictable. Keep in your journal, like, what are things of wonder that come up to you? Write down anything that catches your attention, maybe a thought-provoking conversation you had, maybe some sort of breathtaking view, an interesting fact you learned. Like, the more you actively seek wonder, the more it will show up in your life. And this matters because it's, curiosity fuels personal growth. When you're in a state of wonder, you are more open to learning and adapting and embracing new possibilities. You stop seeing life as something to get through and start seeing it as the adventure to be explored. The wonder disrupts the boredom. It shifts your perspectives and injects excitement into your daily experience. It keeps you engaged and energized and connected to something that is way bigger than yourself. And beyond personal fulfillment, that reawakening your sense of wonder, like, it enhances your relationships and your impacts with others. Like, wonder is contagious, and by choosing to live with this renewed sense of amazement, you create a ripple effect that encourages others to really break free from the mundane and embrace extraordinary within their own lives. Now, our second one is going to be to experience awe through your senses and your connection to the vastness of the world. It's not something it's not reserved for the people who are extraordinary. It's not reserved for the extraordinary moments in life. Awe is present. That wonder is present in everyday life, waiting to be noticed. The problem is that most people just move too quickly, and they're stuck in those repetitive routines and tasks that dull their ability to experience new things. They rush through the day without engaging with richness that is actually in the surroundings all around them, missing out on tons of opportunity to feel inspired. This idea of awe, it has the power to expand thinking or ignite that creativity and shift perspectives in ways that lead to more meaningful growth. To really embrace this idea, it requires two things, like engage deeply with your senses and then recognize how big the world is of things that you could, like, infinite experiences, let alone the ones that are immediately around you. Simple way is just to reconnect with is to connect your senses. The smallest details can become extraordinary when you just slow down and fully engage with them, like letting music play in the background, close your eyes and just listen to it deeply. Instead of eating in a rush, take your time to savor the flavor. If you think of the movie Ratatouille, where he puts the cheese in his brother's mouth, and he's like, "Oh, describe it," and he describes all the nodes and the colors and all that. Like, treat your food like that. Instead of glancing at a tree passing, like, pause to study all the intricate patterns that are in the bark and the way the sunlight filters through the branches and leaves. Like, instead of glancing, like, gosh, just fully immerse yourself in whatever the experience is. The ordinary can take on all new meaning when you do that. You integrate this sort of a practice. You just commit to the daily moments of sensory awareness. Focus on just one sense at a time. Smelling the coffee as you're getting ready to drink it. Another powerful, exercise is sensory awareness challenge that you could do is where you dedicate time each day to heighten your awareness to a particular sense, whether paying attention to sounds or texture or colors. Like, it just rewires your brain to notice and appreciate more around you. When people are caught in their immediate concerns, their perspective becomes very narrow, making problems feel overwhelming. But when you take that step back and you witness the enormity of the sky or endless movement within the ocean, centuries of history that are behind an ancient structure, you just your sense of scale shifts completely. And it's not about making you feel small. It's about seeing how much more exists in the moment you're in, opening your door to greater possibilities all around you. Now, you could engage in all sorts of ideas that extend and stretch you beyond your immediate surroundings, making you more open, adaptable, willing to dream bigger. Shift how you engage with life. When you regularly expose yourself to something that brings on wonder, whether it's through sensory awareness or expanded thinking, you just begin to see beauty in everyday possibility and things that are unknown, and your challenges that you have around you feel less daunting when they're placed against the backdrop of time and history, and you experience life with more curiosity and gratitude, making even small moments feel really significant. And then you deepen your connection with awe, that deeper sense of purpose and empathy and appreciation for everything around you just grows as a part of that. Now, the third thing is just start asking bigger questions. Whether, it's one of the simplest ways, and it's actually an extremely powerful way that you can ignite curiosity and experience way more things in everyday life. Many people just unknowingly limit their growth by setting really surface level explanations of the world around them. And, they stop questioning, assuming that they already understand how things work. They just kind of look at it from that world. But the truth is that the more you question, the more the world reveals itself to you. Every great breathtaking or every major breakthrough, discovery, or extraordinary transformation started with a question. Whether you just begin by saying, what else is possible, or why does this exist in the way it does? You shift from a passive observation to active exploration. You shift your thinking. It awakens this deeper sense of wonder, making the world around you feel more expansive and filled with possibility. Curiosity has the power to just break through the monotony that you could have day to day. It's the driving force behind human progress and personal transformation. You can ask yourself those bigger questions, allowing yourself to see beyond the familiar and open your doors to those new perspectives. You could, can reconnect your sense of amazement that you had as a child. This kind of curiosity, that just asking why behind things. What is the thing? What is that? What does it touch? What's the sense? Explore, understand everything around you with the same curiosity. It's still all built within you, just waiting to be reawakened. It doesn't go away. It's just in there, quietly hiding. And then, let your brain work through whatever it is. Make your connections and expand on where you're at before you jump to solutions. What you want to do is strengthen your ability to think deeply and recognize patterns in ways that enhance problem solving and creativity, rather than looking at the patterns as just a part of the day-to-day life. It's essential because curiosity leads to engagement leads to more inspiration. You see the world as a place of endless possibility rather than fixed, set of circumstances that are out there. When you begin to question more, you stop feeling stuck in the routines, and instead you see all the opportunities that are in places around you that you previously maybe only saw as limitations. And the more you engage with the world in this way, the more alive you feel. Beyond any sort of personal growth, just asking the bigger questions deepens your relationships and interactions with others. When you bring curiosity to your discussions, you create this space for deeper connections and greater understanding with those around you. It not only enriches the lives, your personal relationships, but it really does create that stronger collaboration in even professional environments and creativity environments. And, in the end, the quality of your life is directly connected to the quality of the questions you're asking. If you want to break free from mundane, you have to be willing to challenge the way you see the world. Even the great thinkers, artists, scientists, and leaders got to where they were because they asked questions that others overlooked. And if you make it a habit to do this, you want to make sure that you're continuing to learn, that you experience more wonder, discover those new passions, and feel connected to that world around you. Now, our fourth one is all about these micro adventures that you could create in life. Because when you create micro adventures in your life, it's actually one of the easiest ways and the most effective ways that you can ignite excitement and curiosity and wonder. People often think of adventures as these grand travels to faraway places and climbing mountains with drastic life changes. Tons of people that I'm connected to as a part of different mastermind groups and businesses and entrepreneurs, and I see them travel all around the world and do these amazing things, and it makes you believe that that's adventure. But in reality, awe and wonder and transformation are accessible right where you are. Microadventure is a small intentional act of exploration that disrupts your routine and infuses your life with a little more novelty. It could be as simple as taking a different route home, trying that new food we talked about, attending a local event that maybe you didn't consider attending before. These small shifts break up the monotony of daily life and create space for new perspectives and experiences and emotions. The reason this is so powerful is the brain thrives on new experiences. So when you introduce even small changes into your daily routine, your brain becomes more alert, it sharpens its sense of awareness, and it starts noticing things that you'd have otherwise overlooked. this sort of novelty, it triggers a release of dopamine in your brain, and getting into the science of it, like the neurotransmitters linked to your motivation and learning make new experiences feel more memorable. And when you deliberately incorporate micro adventures into your life, just train yourself to see the world through fresh eyes, and heightening your sense of curiosity and open to possibilities. And the best part is that these moments of exploration, they don't require money or expensive planning or major commitments. They simply require a willingness to step outside of the usual patterns that you have around you. I struggle with this all the time. Luckily, my wife pushes me into these things, and we experience things different around us all the time. They don't have to be anything extreme, just different from the normal routine. It's something as simple as eating at a different restaurant that you've never visited before, going for a walk through your neighborhood maybe a route you don't usually explore, or learning a new skill online. Once you have a list of things you could go and try and do, like commit to trying one of these experiences each week. Just approach curiosity not just as a task to complete, but as opportunities to see and experience the world in a new way. I recommend you document your experiences, you journal about them, so you notice how you felt and what stood out to you. This sort of an idea of reflection helps solidify that sense of adventure and keeps you motivated to keep continuing to go forward. If you enjoy sharing experiences with others, then invite friends and family, to join you on these micro adventures. Add accountability. Make it even more exciting when you share experiences. When you share them, it's going to often lead to deeper connections with others. Micro adventures, like I said, they disrupt the cycle. They remind us that the world is full of these surprises waiting to be discovered, even in places you thought you knew well. And when you actively seek out those experiences, you create the mindset for curiosity and openness, which are two qualities that are essential to your personal growth or creativity or living a more fulfilled life. And beyond the immediate joy, experience them, they bring the experience and the joy that these micro adventures brings. It builds resilience and adaptability, because when you regularly step into unfamiliar situations, even in small ways, you become more comfortable with the uncertainty of change. Now, that's a skill that's invaluable both in personal and professional life. So you pick some of these small things that you could do. By committing to small and intentional acts of exploration, you not only make your life more exciting, but you also develop this habit of seeing the extraordinary in the everyday, and you train yourself to break free out of the routine, to embrace curiosity, and to stay open to the new possibilities that are all around you. Now, the fifth step is to find, wonder in human connection. This is one of the most overlooked yet powerful ways to experience wonder and awe. Like, too often we go through interactions with others on autopilot, engaging in surface level conversation, rushing through social exchanges, or missing the richness that's all around us. I'm not sure if you've ever been through that. Like, how was your weekend? Oh, it was great. How was your weekend? It was great. And really, did you care? Did you engage with them fully in that moment? But every person carries unique perspectives, shaped by their own experiences or their struggles, their triumphs. And when you take the time to truly see and listen to others, we open ourselves to new ways of thinking, fresh insights, and stories that can inspire us. It's going to be in these moments when someone shares a piece of themselves, when a conversation sparks something unexpected, that you realize how much we can learn by simply just being present with another person. The beauty of any sort of human connection is that it doesn't require, once again, any sort of travel or money or special circumstances to access. Every interaction you have with others holds the potential to expand your understanding of the world. But if we only if we could only approach people with that level of curiosity. The challenge is that many of us have just become so accustomed to keeping conversations light and avoiding deeper dialogue that we assume that we already know what we need to know about others. And gosh, the truth is, though, every person we encounter has something to teach us, if you're just willing to ask and to listen, to engage with them at a more meaningful level. Now, our sixth step is how do you turn this awe, this wonder, into action? It has the power to shape our perspectives, opening our mind to new possibilities and awakening that deeper sense of purpose. But if awe left you just feeling, is just left as a feeling in any way, like, it eventually fades into the background, becoming nothing more than a fleeting moment of admiration. The real magic happens when awe sparks action. It moves beyond something that is simply experienced and transforms into something that can be applied. Every person, who's ever created or inspired or, changed the world didn't just witness something incredible. They took what moved them and they used it to fuel, what they needed to step into their potential. Awe, when acted upon, becomes the driving force for personal growth and creativity and meaningful contribution. The challenge is that too many people stop feeling that way. They hear a powerful speech, they feel motivated, but they don't act on it. They don't do anything about it. They read this incredible book, like one that's maybe called The Giver Method, that you could get access to. And it shifts the way of their thinking, but they never implement what they fully learn. They admire someone else's accomplishments, but they never take the first step towards their own. The difference between those who have a deeply fulfilled life and those who remain stuck in the experiences they've had is what they do with the experiences, what they do with the feelings that they have to push them forward. When awe is turned into action, it ceases to be just an emotional moment and instead becomes a stepping stone towards something greater. And so putting that into practice, you start by recognizing the moments that inspire you when someone moves you, whether it's through a conversation, through their creativity and art, a breathtaking moment in nature, a new insight. Just pause and ask yourself, what is this calling me to do? The next step is just take immediate action. Don't question it, no matter how small it is. If a book changes your perspective, share what you learned with somebody else. If a speaker ignites something inside you, start practicing your own ability to communicate and share that message. Maybe witnessing creativity excites you. Pick up a pen, a brush, instrument, start creating something. Action doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be intentional. And the powerful way that you make this actionable is to start looking for the ways, document it in a journal. What are the things that have inspired me, and how can I take action on it? Each time anything fills you with awe, write it down and what's the concrete step? Whether you came up with one or not, what could it be? And start to use that as a way to develop things moving forward. The key is to close the gap between the inspiration and execution. You can also think about it from a 24-hour rule, from something that moves you to committing to doing something about it. It keeps it from falling, from falling into the trap of passive admiration, instead making you, that awe and wonder an active part of your personal evolution. Turning it to action is crucial because it bridges that gap between potential and progress. It prevents inspiration from just being wasted and ensures that the energy of a powerful moment is funneled into something that can create lasting change. Without action, even the most profound insights eventually fade. Opportunities for growth slip away, but when you consistently turn your moments of awe into some sort of a stepping stone forward, life begins to shift for you. You develop the skill for building deeper, more meaningful relationships. You step into new opportunities that once seemed out of reach. And beyond that personal growth, it has that ripple effect, being able to impact those around you. You become this source of encouragement, showing those around you that awe isn't something passively experienced, but something acted upon. This is how movements are created, how leaders emerge, and how ordinary moments transform into extraordinary impact. And so instead of just witnessing greatness, you begin to create it. Instead of being a spectator to awe-inspiring things in the world, you become a participant, someone who not only appreciates the wonder, but contributes to it in ways that elevates both yourself and those around you. The ability to harness the wonder and excitement, inspiration and awe, and find them in everyday life isn't, just a nice skill to have. It's this transformational practice that can completely change how you experience and impact the world. Remember, you don't have to implement all these principles at once. Start with the one that resonated with you mostly and, that strongly felt called to, and build from there. Every step, no matter how small, towards living with more wonder and curiosity is a step towards extraordinary possibilities and opportunities that are waiting for you. Now, if you want to dive deeper into discovering your gifts and superpowers so you can create more impact in the world and live, having deeper relationships and connections and live a more fulfilled life, then that's why you would go either download the Giver's Roadmap or go buy your copy of the Giver Method that I'll put in the links down below. Now, if this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who may benefit from it. Leave the comment below. We talked about which of these resonated with you the most and how you plan to implement it. And with that, I'll just say that until next time, hopefully you keep growing and keep giving, and remember that extraordinary possibilities exist in everyday, ordinary moments. You just need to seek them out. They're waiting for you to wake up and step into those moments. So go out and find them. That way you can live a more fulfilled life and get out of the mundane and ordinary that you may already be experiencing. And so have a great rest of your day. We will catch you in our next video.